You're on it, let me tell you. Yes, ma'am. You know, I guess what I've learned more than any other time in my life, this year, I learned that leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. Turn to your partner next door and say, leadership is everything. Now let's say a little about leadership. Leadership is everything. Say it again. Leadership is everything. And as an independent business person, self-leadership is more important. The financial collapse of our world tells us that our security today, ladies and gentlemen, is based on investing in ourselves. Leadership is everything. We are living longer, so we have to work to be the best we can be. ACN wants you to be the best you can be. It wants you to have the best product, the best training, the best team. And so the questions today are this: how do you maximize your potential as a human being? Another question: how do you achieve your dreams? Another question: how do you maintain your motivation? Another question: how do you balance your life? And it still leads back to, how do you become the best you can be? How do you become the best you can be? That's a good question. And we've had great leaders in our world, and Kennedy and Gandhi and King, who's a favorite of mine. And I remember Dr. King said, in talking about becoming the best you could be, he says, even if it falls your lot to be a street sweeper, sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper that swept his job well. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a scrub in the valley. But be the best little scrub on the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. You can't be a highway. Just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by the size that you win or fail. Be the best of whatever you are. And so we're here today, ladies and gentlemen. You're here. You travel all from miles and miles around the country to be here to find out how to be the best you can be. Well, I can tell you, the only way you can be the best you can be is you got to be free. Well, what's he talking about, this freedom stuff? We're in America. We're free. My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, land where our fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every what? Mountainside, let your freedom ring. how do you let your freedom ring? How do you do that? Well, see, it took me a long time to get that, ladies and gentlemen. It took me a long time to understand this freedom stuff. It took me a long time to understand that the world's a collection of unlimited wealth and resources. Often we limit our potential by moving in our own small circles because we don't know how to do the deal. What's the challenge? The challenge is to change the way you think and feel about yourself. When? Every single day. And it took me a long time to get this. Everybody's free because everybody has 24 hours. Everybody's got 24 hours. What's the question? What are you going to do, or what do you do with your 24 hours? And most people in the world, I would say, are not free. 99% of the people are followers as opposed to leaders. And they get up in the morning, the schedule goes like this. They get up in the morning, they wash their face, they brush their teeth, they get something to eat, they get the kids off. If they got children, they work all day, come home in the afternoon, they have dinner, spend some time with the family, watch TV, go to bed. That's Monday. What do they do on Tuesday? What do they do on Wednesday? What do they do on Thursday? What do they do on Friday? Friday they go out, the eagle flies. Saturday, what do? They wash, they clean up, they iron, they shovel snow, they cut grass, they watch sports. Saturday night they go out. Sunday, a lot of people go to church and they eat chicken dinners in the afternoon, and they get ready for what, ladies and gentlemen? Work on Monday. And this is the question: how long can they do that for? 30 years. A whole life. And they look back after 30 years, they said, you know what, I've been doing this same thing for 30 years. I have no more in the end than I had in the beginning. And so if you did the same thing you did yesterday, as you would do today, as you would do tomorrow, what have you done, ladies and gentlemen? Nothing. Because you've already done it. And so what's the missing piece for 99% of the people in the world today? The missing piece is they're so busy running, they forget to THINK. And they say, you know what, they get this bright idea, I'm going to school. And the educational system teaches them how to memorize, take tests, repeat the information back, they get labeled with a grade. If I ask a student what they learned 2 weeks later, they say what? I don't know, I forgot. So if you're doing the same thing over and over every single day, everything you learn, you forget. Nothing from nothing is nothing. And so the question is how do you grow? And the world says, you know what, I'm going to put you in a box because you can't control your own life. You don't know how to maximize your potential. You don't really understand the true meaning of leadership. You're really not free. You are still a follower as opposed to a leader. You're still a slave as opposed to an owner. And I'm not talking about slavery in terms of race. I'm talking about slavery of the mind. And so I'm here this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Came from Chicago here to try to wake you up.